Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 signs she's cheating on you or losing interest. So I do want to preface this video by saying, if she's doing these things, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's cheating on you, but if she's cheating on you, she's probably doing these things. Does that make sense? I know it's a little bit confusing. If she's doing these 5 things, it doesn't 100% mean that she's cheating on you. I cannot read her mind. I don't know your situation, but these are just some signs to look for if you feel a little bit suspicious, you feel like she might be cheating on you, or you just feel like she's losing interest in you in general. And I also do want to say, I don't want you guys to watch this and feel very paranoid or unhealthy or toxic. I want you guys to all be in happy, healthy relationships, which is why I'm making this video in the first place. If you feel like you cannot trust someone, you should not be with them. And I've learned that the hard way, okay? Also, this video definitely goes both ways. So if you're a girl watching this, I think these are definitely things that guys do when they're cheating or losing interest as well. So this is definitely a video that isn't just for the guys out there. I think this one is for girls as well. So I've never personally cheated, so I've never done any of the things on this list. However, I have been cheated on, and every time I was cheated on, these were typically things that happened to me that the guy was doing to me. So like I said, it definitely goes both ways, and I can speak from personal experience on that. Number 1, we have loss of affection. And there could be a loss of affection for many different reasons. I know sometimes medications and things like that can make us a little bit less into physical touch than maybe if we weren't taking them. So more specifically here, I think it's important to pay attention to if there has been a drastic change in the level of affection that she has with you. So if she used to be really touchy, used to want to be intimate with you a lot, and all of a sudden has gone cold turkey and isn't touching you, isn't initiating anything with you, or reciprocating the physical touch that you're giving her, I think this is a big red flag. This could mean that she's getting affection from somewhere else and therefore does not need it from you. So aside from that, it could just mean that she isn't interested in you anymore, isn't physically attracted to you, isn't in love with you, is just really losing interest in you. It could be so many different things, but it's a really big one and normally a surefire sign that something's not right. So as horrible as this sounds, it happens, and it happens a lot. It's really scary to me that someone could just wake up and not be attracted to you anymore, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship with this person, but it happens. I know a lot of times when people cheat, they become less affectionate and intimate with their partner because they're getting this from somewhere else. Number 2, we have a drastic change in communication. So if you've just started talking to someone or you haven't really been talking to someone for too long, this one's gonna be big if you're noticing a drastic change in the way they used to communicate with you versus how they're communicating with you now, and if there's a big drop off there. So if this girl used to talk to you all the time, she used to text you during the day, she used to send you good morning, good night texts, all of those things, and she's no longer doing those things, it could mean that she's texting someone else. Especially if you maybe met her on a dating app and you've been texting for a couple weeks, maybe you haven't hung out yet and she's still on the dating apps, it could mean that she's texting someone else that she met on there and is therefore losing interest in you because she's talking to someone new. And that's why I always say it's so important to get their number quickly off of a dating app and try to plan a date ASAP. I know it's tricky because of COVID and everything that's going on in the world, but you really want to be the guy that stands out in a sea of messages from so many different guys and get them on that date as soon as possible, whether it be a FaceTime date or an in-person date. So in regards to being in a relationship for this one, if you've already been in a relationship with this girl and she isn't letting you know where she's going, she's staying late at work and didn't let you know, or she's coming home at 9 p.m. and that's very unlike her, there could be something going on. And I'm not saying you need to be paranoid or question what she's doing 24/7. When you're with someone trustworthy, you don't have to wonder what they're doing. You shouldn't have to wonder where they're at or who they're talking to, or if they're staying late at work, or if they're really out to dinner with another guy, okay? I don't want you to be paranoid, but if there is a drastic change in her communication with you, then this is normally a bad sign. The key word here, again, is drastic change. If there's something little that happens, maybe that she wouldn't normally do, or she would have let you know about this and now she's not, I don't think that's that big of a deal, and I don't think you need to be concerned. But like I said, if it's something more drastic, if it's happening all the time, if things just don't feel right, normally they aren't. Number 3, we have she's accusing you of things. And the reason that she's accusing you is because she feels so guilty about what she's done or she's doing. and she feels like you might be doing them too. It's making her self-conscious, it's making her insecure, and she's projecting that onto you. And I can speak from this firsthand because I have gone through this. There was one time in college when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my boyfriend accused me of cheating on him, and it was so out of the blue and so random. He called me like freaking out, cussing at me, crying. It was horrible. And looking back, I can't even believe I put up with that or went through that. But I found out afterwards that he had just cheated on me. And so he was all paranoid, thinking I was gonna cheat on him too, when I was probably in my dorm watching some Netflix show. So I was in no way, shape, or form doing anything wrong, but he felt so guilty about what he did to me that then he projected that onto me and just assumed that I would do it too. Normally when someone is a cheater, they start accusing you of doing things too. And like I said, it's because of that insecurity and that paranoid feeling that they've created for themselves inside that they are then projecting onto you. Number 4, we have thirst traps on social media. And by that, I mean maybe she's posting things that she would maybe normally not post. Maybe she has started to post lingerie photos or naked photos or bikini photos that is maybe out of character for her. So I know for some girls this is like second nature. They don't even think about it. It's just who they are. They post these all the time and it's not a big deal. So if you're in a relationship with a girl like that, then I don't think you need to be worried because this is something that she does all the time anyways, and it's not anything different or out of the blue. But if you're dating a girl that would normally never do this and then she all of a sudden starts doing this, it's probably not a good sign. She could be looking for attention or validation, or maybe the guy follows her on social media and she's posting it so that he sees it. Who knows? There are so many scenarios that you can create in your head with this kind of thing, and I think it's just toxic, which is why I say you should not be with someone that you don't trust in the first place. But often when someone is cheating, they start to get really into themselves and they start to post themselves more often on social media to get that attention and validation from people. It's like a drug. It's horrible. So like I said here, the bigger red flag is if she goes from never doing this kind of thing to doing it a lot. Like I said, if you're dating a girl that does this normally and it's nothing out of the blue, then you shouldn't be worried. So if she's someone that's all of a sudden looking for attention online, bad sign. And lastly, number 5 on my list is she's protective of her phone. And my kind of motto here is, if you have nothing to hide, there's nothing to be protective about. There's nothing to be shady or sneaky about. So if they start to be sneaky and shady and just really protective of their phones or their laptops, this is a huge red flag. And I'm not telling you to go through her phone. I don't think you should be going through your partner's phone at all unless you suspect something and you're gonna catch them cheating and dump them, because this is just one of the most unhealthy patterns that I think has increased a lot in society these days. I see girls post all the time on TikTok about how they go through their boyfriend's phone when they're in the shower or when they're sleeping, and it's so unhealthy, guys. I've been in that situation before and it's absolutely horrible, and I've learned the hard way that if you have to go through someone's phone, you should not be with them because you don't trust them and you don't have a healthy relationship. So say she gets a notification or you go to check the time or something and you glance at her phone and she freaks out. This is a very bad thing. If she's being protective, if she's being shady, if she's acting weird, it normally means she has something to hide. And it might not necessarily be that she's cheating on you, but she's doing something she feels like she doesn't want you to see or she feels embarrassed about. So it could be a lot of things here, but normally it's because she has something on there that she doesn't want you to see. I wouldn't care if my boyfriend picked up my phone and went through the whole entire thing because I have nothing to hide. I think people only normally care when they have something to hide or something that they feel like they can't tell you. So I'm not saying go through your partner's phone. I don't think that's healthy, but your partner won't have a problem with it if they have nothing to hide. So guys, those are my 5 signs that she's cheating on you or losing interest. Like I said, just because she's doing these things doesn't 100% mean she's cheating. And for any girl watching this, same thing goes for you. I think this list 100% goes both ways. Guys are just as guilty of this as girls are. So if you're with someone that's doing these things, you know, like I said, I'm not saying you should be paranoid or toxic or crazy. I think you should have an open conversation with the person that you're seeing and be really honest about how you're feeling and uncover if something's happening or not, and just be so honest and vulnerable. That's the best thing that you can do because you don't want to be with someone that's cheating on you. It's a horrible feeling, I've been there, guys, and I would never put myself through that again. So I think often we know when something's not right. We see these things and we ignore them because we don't want our relationship to fail. We want things to work out. We don't want to be sad. But I think it's important, if you see these signs, to act on it and make sure that you're doing what's best for you. So let me know in the comments down below if you think I missed anything. What are some things that you've experienced when someone cheated on you, or maybe you cheated on someone? I always like to get insight from you guys, so please leave your comments down below. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to my channel for when I release new content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I answer a lot of questions on there. I'm pretty active on my stories, so if you want to connect with me a little bit more, that is the place to do it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.